Hello, my name is Mariana, and today this is a reading for Gemini. So Gemini, as usual, I'm doing this reading with my own tarot deck, so the cards that you see are from this deck. So Gemini, today your reading feels very different than usual, and it feels like you are avoiding the end of something. It's like you don't want something to come to an end, even though it's just becoming very clear to you that staying might be even harder or maybe even detrimental to you and to somebody that is connected to you or coming behind you, right? And I feel like it's interesting because you have been receiving, I feel like, these guidances or these messages from your own inner voice that you need to move because there is a new beginning that is here actually at the bottom of the deck, because we do have the Fool, and this is the new beginning that somehow it's not starting because you are maybe attached to whatever beautiful thing you have built, but it has completed, it has come full circle because we're beginning with the Emperor. But the funny thing is that we have another card that is opening, which is the Nine of Wands. So to me, the Emperor is bringing this full circle type of completion, right? But it's a beautiful one. It's a very abundant one, right? A very empowering one. Sometimes I see the leaves as, the symbol for something organic, something that grew over time, but with beauty, with a lot of just abundance, right? But because it's coming full circle, and here it's like you're saying to the universe, but I just want this to keep on going. I don't want this to wrap. I don't want this to be the final thing. I don't want this to come to a conclusion, right? Come full circle. I want this to keep going. And because the Nine of Wands, it's kind of like this ambiguous card of, traditionally being the burdens or the challenges or the heaviness that, you might think that you are holding or that you are carrying or that you need to carry, or even like you are choosing to carry, right? It's like you're saying, but I know that I can see the beauty, because to me, the transcendence of the obstacles or the overcoming of the challenges is like seeing the beauty, right? Despite all of that. So it's like you've been on this path for a while now, Gemini. It's been wonderful. It's been very fruitful is the word that I'm hearing, right? Especially because here I'm seeing all of the abundance coming from the leaves. So like organic abundance. But here, maybe you know this already, but to me, the wand suit talks about the tree, even though this suit represents fire. Sometimes I see this as either like leaves opening up or like a tree that is growing or like a flower that is blooming, right? So it's like nature opening up, and it's almost like you just want to keep on following the same path because you're able to see the beauty in the midst of challenges, right? So it's almost like you're saying to yourself, but look at everything that I built. It's so abundant, it's so lush, it's so amazing, it's so wonderful, right? It's so enriching. Why does it have to come to an end? I just want to keep on following this path. I just want to keep on going and moving forward, right? Because maybe you have this belief, Gemini, that you can really overcome the challenges because you're able to see the beauty. And because of that, maybe you hold this belief that you just want to keep on doing this, right? So your wish, I want to say, is for this to not come full circle or not come to an end, right? But the interesting thing is that what you're doing is almost like the opposite of the guidance that you're receiving, which, remember that at the bottom of the deck is the Fool, which is the new beginning, the new opportunity, the new path that is opening up. But here, after the Nine of Wands, we have the Five of Wands. The fives to me talk about, well, they talk about many things, but for you, what this five is talking about is staying put, right? Because it's like, you know that here you are an integral being. Sometimes I see the fives as integrity, a place of finding integrity. But you know, traditionally the Five of Wands can be the card of conflict and fight and discussions and arguments and all that, right? So disagreement essentially. But I want to say that you are disagreeing with your own self. You are disagreeing with your own guidance, with your own inner voice. Maybe you have been receiving, because it's what is coming later on, this it's like this whisper, right? This whisper of truth that you need to move on, but somehow you're choosing energetically to stay put because you wish that you could just prolong this path, because you have the capacity, because you know that you have this ability to see the beauty, right? Where beauty is not there yet. So it's like you're relying on a skill that you have developed that had created a beautiful and abundant life, but right now it's like it's just going to create more obstacles, because in staying put, it's like you're trying to hold your stance, you're trying to hold your position in the midst of very, very strong wind. This is how the Eight of Swords is coming through. So the Eight of Swords here is just talking about like all of the noise, all of the turbulence, all of the change, right, that is coming through from behind you, trying to push you, trying to it's like it's trying to take you with it, right? The wind is trying to take you with it, but you're very firmly saying, no, I want to stay. I know that I can do this. I have created such a beautiful life. I want to stay here, right? You just want to prolong what's been, right? What's always been, or what has been like your life recently. So, but this is causing this inner conflict where it's like the more you enter into this argument with self, right? It's like, and maybe you're saying, but I know that if I stay here, I am going to maintain my own integrity because I know who I am. But in a way, it is just intensifying or amping up the wind, right? It's like the more that you say stubbornly, perhaps, I am staying here, the wind is just going to pick up and pick up and pick up, right? Because it's meant to carry you. The Ten of Wands coming next, I feel like, even though you don't realize this, because I feel like it's unconscious, it's not something that you are aware of, but energetically, you are blocking the way for somebody else, okay? So I'm seeing this Five of Wands as this Five of Wands here, right? So there's another person that perhaps is like, it's wanting to be moved by the wind, but because you're here saying, no, I can do this, I can stay here, I know that I have the strength, I know that I have the integrity, so I'm going to do everything that I can to just stay here because I know that I can transmute, right, the challenge into beauty. But in a way, in being stubborn with that, Gemini, you are creating a harder path for yourself, right? So it's almost like you're creating the obstacle so that you have the excuse to stay or to remain in this path of transmutation. You see what I mean? So because the wind is picking up, it's almost like it's going to be inevitable that whomever is coming behind you, it's like they're going to take you, right? I'm just picturing like leaves, right? It's like there is like, you know, imagine like a pipe. There's something that is blocking, and you know, maybe it's you, right? Your energy is blocking this pipe and the energy wants to move freely, and then behind you comes like this swoosh, or this, you know, whatever is there, you know, the other entity, the other energy, the other soul that is behind you, right? In this same pipe, let's say. It's all metaphorical, of course, but it's like this is going to force you to move, right? It's like it's going to be like that last push, because you've been receiving guidance that this is the best outcome, the Six of Wands and the Queen of Swords. So this is your inner voice, especially because I feel like, to be honest, maybe this is a reason why also the Five of Wands can be like this internal conflict. The more that you tell yourself that you're going to go against the guidance that you're receiving from your own inner voice, it's like you're just intensifying the win. It's like you're creating the obstacle. You are creating the, it's like the interference, or kind of like the hardship, essentially, right? Because the Eight of Swords and the Queen of Swords are lined up. And I feel like the amping up, or like it's like the intensifying scale or degree of the win is actually being caused or being provoked by the Queen. So it's almost like your inner voice is doing this because it knows that you are in for a victory, but you need to move from the 5 to the 6, right? From the 9 to the 10. So instead of wanting to make this, you know, something that you're going to experience over and over and over again, because it's been kind of like your default mode so far, right? It's like you're not accepting that this is coming to an end because you know that you have the ability. So it's almost like, why not keep on using this ability since I have it? But for some reason, it's like there is somebody else that also wants to pass through this threshold or pass through this moment of completing something and beginning something, right? And for some reason you are there in between, so you are the blockage for somebody else that also is in for this victory as much as you are. But you, it's like because you are so reluctant to say, okay, I am going to let this go, I am going to accept this as, you know, coming full circle or whatever it is, because it is a very, it's almost like the badge of honor, right? This is how I'm seeing this Emperor. It's like you have concluded this, you have completed this mission with honors. So it's like you don't have to worry that you didn't do enough, or that you, it's like that you weren't doing justice to everything that you could do or create or build, right? It's like you've done like a wonderful, wonderful job. So you don't have to worry about not, it's like, it has to do with kind of like this, it's not insecurity per se, but it's just like the desire to keep on doing this. I don't know why it's coming like that, but whenever I return to this, it's like, it's again, kind of like this insistence in just doing what you've been doing, but it's done, right? So the more you insist to stay, the more you're going to receive a clear guidance from your inner voice, from yourself, that it's better if you just move. It's better if you just keep on going, right? But not keep on going in this sense. Keep on going toward the newness, toward this new beginning, right? This freedom, this new adventure. So what this Queen of Swords is saying, count your blessings. The Seven of Pentacles ending here, the first part, is talking about how much you have achieved. And it's interesting because, you know, if it was the Ten of Pentacles, you could see the amount of abundance that I'm seeing here in the Emperor card. But because it's the Seven of Pentacles, I want to say that is the same argument that I was seeing here with the Five of Wands, that is kind of like maybe like in the middle of you agreeing with your higher self, agreeing with your inner voice. Maybe this is a friend, right? Saying something that you don't want to hear because they're telling you the truth. But what they are pointing at is that what you have gathered, what you have built is already enough, right? So assess everything that you have built to this point, because you can already it's like you can already consider that as very successful, very victorious, right? It's like conquering something that it's like you have done this, right? You have done this. So it's like it really doesn't matter like the amount or like the numbers or it's like the conversion rates, what I'm hearing. Whatever it is, it's like you feel like it's not enough. So that's the reason why I was emphasizing it's like you've done more than enough, right? It's like you're completing this with honors, but maybe not in a way that you consider it as, you know, a very abundant and a very prosperous completion, right? Maybe for you, it was almost like, you know, that inside deep down, it's like you could have done more, but really what your inner voice is saying, it's like, don't care too much about the physical evidence, right? Or the numbers or the spreadsheets or the money or whatever. It's like assess everything that you have put together, because what it created, because here you see here how there's the resemblance between the full circle moment, right? It's like you have done everything that you could with the best that you had. It's like you did the best that you could with everything that you had, right? So it's like, even if you don't consider yourself as the emperor or as, you know, achieving the highest degree in something in your life, right? Maybe professionally, maybe your life overall, know that your higher self is pointing to something that is beyond the physical evidence, is beyond the money. Okay, so don't undervalue your work. Don't underestimate your power, your potential to express something, to manifest something, because you have done it. You have completed it, right? So everything that is here in this pile of the Seven of Pentacles is your work, right? It's your accomplishment. So it is very much like a success. So the more that you insist in staying, Gemini, the more things will become more turbulent, right? Because you're meant to move in this new direction, a direction of freedom. So even though here you're feeling like there's still a little bit more to complete, right? Between the 7 and the 10, there are 3 pentacles that are missing. But in a way, you already know, because you have been receiving the guidance that it's like, it's almost like you don't want to listen to your own inner voice. Is that what it is? Because it's almost like the more that you listen, or the more that you don't listen, maybe I should say, it's like the more chaotic things will become. But if you listen, it's like you're going to assess something, and it's almost like it's counterintuitive, right? Because, you know, one would think that success is the 10 of Pentacles, not the 7 of Pentacles. But in a way, for whatever reason, Gemini, this has come to a completion, right? As it is, not as something that needs more stuff, right? Or more work, or more victories, right? It's like you have done enough. And so I would say, like, if you have been receiving the guidance, right? Maybe this reading is like a confirmation, like, you know, doubling this message, right? If you've been receiving this, listen to your higher self, because I feel like not just this is a moment of freedom, but it's also of great change, the Judgment coming underneath. So, you know, there are bigger forces at play than what you're trying to hold on to, right? It's like you have completed, you have mastered something in a way better sense, or it's like you're not giving yourself credit for everything that you have done, right? So that's the reason why you want to do more and more and more, or you want to keep on extending that period of doing the same work. But this has been completed, right? It's like these higher powers are saying to you, this is done. And so there's something new that, whether you like it or not, whether you're trying to hold on to this, it's like it's just going to come, right? When is the right time for this new beginning? It's just going to come. So Gemini, you know, you have this voice. You have also the free will to listen or not, right? It's not this reading that is going to tell you whether you have to listen or not. You already know that. But you can minimize all of the hardship that perhaps is just intensifying because you're trying to hold on to something that has already finished, okay? And it's like, maybe, you know, assess all of this with gratitude also for yourself, right? Because it's like, it's beautiful. Maybe it's not exactly everything that you imagine, but is amazing. So give yourself the credit that you have earned, right? That you have worked for. You deserve it, but you also deserve this. So don't postpone this, right? So Gemini, I am going to pull more cards for you to see what wants to come next in this very weird, very different reading. And also I'm going to pull from the astrological rooms in the extended reading. So if you want to join me there, I'll be very happy to see you. You can find a link down below. If not, I'll see you next time. Okay, bye.